So it's day 2 of my trip to Era 92 in Kampala in Uganda, and today I'm looking forward to going deeper, finding out more about how Era 92 works, the impact that it's making in the slum in Kosovo, and I'll be chatting to Trinity Heavenz, the founder and CEO of Era 92, to hear all about that. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. And then later today, I'm going to be going back to see the young people who are involved in the Social Innovation Challenge, to see how they've been developing their ideas and their projects since I met them yesterday. So really looking forward to seeing them again and hearing what they've come up with. So another good day, and I can't wait to find out more. I think it's time to get to the heart of the social enterprise. I'm really interested in finding out how Era 92 began, particularly Era 92 Creative, which is at the core of the social enterprise. So I'm delighted to have the opportunity to hear more from Trinity Heavenz, who is the founder of the social enterprise. Trinity, how did it all begin in terms of this amazing social enterprise?
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for, coming all the way from the UK to Uganda. Wow, I've told the story so many times, but it derives from my life and how I grew up and the community that I ended up in at the age of 3, when my mom, couldn't afford any other place around town, but rather the slums of Kosovo. Kosovo was named after the Kosovo of Russia by then, because of the trouble that was going through, the killings and stuff like that. So that really, put me in a very, very strong position, a bad position, where I ended up on the streets at the age of 9. And ending up on the streets at the age of 9 as a young person, there is so many risks. And I wasn't the only one. There were many, many other young kids that actually lost their lives in that period of time that I was on the streets. But basically, as a young person, I didn't have any other choice but to steal, to survive, to run away from home and stuff like that. And that's the story of other thousands of kids in my community then. But always, when there is luck on your life, or there is an opportunity that could show up, for me there was a time where a group of missionaries had come to Uganda, and they had come to build a school and get street kids off the streets. And that's when they found us, me and my brother Vixon. And just to cut the whole story short, just to point the story to Era 92 Creative, is that when they told us, okay, what's one thing that they could give us that will never go back to the streets? What could that one thing be? I was so enthusiastic about computers and stuff like that. And so I asked for a computer.
Right.
Yes.
So it all began with one computer.
Yes. And that computer was a MacBook, which was white MacBook. Then.
I had one of those.
Yeah. And it opened up a whole new world of possibilities for me. I was a curious young person that wanted to learn things in coding, graphic designing. It unlocked my creativity, but more so, I happened to join the church then, and I had a safe place for me to apply my skills. So I started doing things in church, doing posters, doing events, posters, projecting the Sunday service. And that really planted me well in my purpose of becoming a creative. So I continued practicing, and by the age of 18, 17, I was one of the best graphic designers, and I was discovered to get this new job, out of the slums. And that was the kind of the threshold to my new life of being, an empowered person. I had a job. I was working outside the slums, but there was a big disconnect. Most of my friends, my other young fellows, were stuck in the vicious cycle of poverty. They hadn't gotten the opportunity that I had gotten. But I thought to myself, what could I do that I could actually help other young people cross the bridge to the life I was living then? And then the thing was simple. I had to reflect on my life and how the entire journey happened, and I realized that there was an opportunity gap that we had to close. Not that the young people in my community wasn't brilliant, they were brilliant, but they lacked the opportunity for them to cross over, the opportunity to get the skills they needed, the opportunity of a safe place. They were put into funding and stuff like that. So I quit my job and I started a company called Era 92 because I was born in 1992.
Yeah.
For the sole purpose of training and employing young people from the slums, underserved communities to, meaningful work across the globe. Yeah.
So how did you begin? What was the first phase of Era 92 in those early days?
As you know, any big company like Microsoft or this company, they start in the garage. For me, I started in my bedroom. We had a spare bedroom for where I was sleeping, and the owner allowed me to use that. And we started training for young people, and one of them was called Megan. And Megan's story is a story that we share as Era 92 because she's a true example of what brilliance means. Is equally distributed, but opportunity is not. She was at the verge of selling her body in exchange of money to take care of the siblings because the father had a problem with their spine. And when Megan came to us, we trained her what we knew, and in 4 months she was able to design a website on her own.
Wow.
And what that did to me, it unlocked the possibilities of these young people and the potential they have. And so Megan was our first employee. From that training of 4 people, I joined other wise man, and we started a company like that. Yes.
And so has the business model developed in terms of, what is it that you do? What are the services that you've developed to provide? How do you continue to recruit that talent of people like Megan? And then how do you sell your services globally now?
That's a very good question. And that's also a complicated one. So when I started out, I was a 19-year-old boy and I didn't know anything about social enterprise. But at the age of 21, I came across Muhammad Yunis's book about social business. Yeah. And that helped me now streamline what my social enterprise should look like. So we realized that we are going to have 2 arms. The business arm that is supporting the charity, let's say the empowerment arm of the thing. So we started Era 92 Creative, which is a business that is selling, unlimited design subscriptions to companies around the world. So we design websites, logos, branding. We do films for international development organizations and any other individual, churches. And then the profits from that work is designated to go and support the young people. And now the loop works like, if we get the money, we train other people, then we get more talent. The talent we recruit, they come into our pipeline, then we have more capacity to serve more clients. Yeah. And so that's how it actually works. But then over the years, we realized actually there is another opportunity for us to create jobs by placing these young people into other places of work. So most of our young people, because we can only take only a few young people, but then the rest of over 70%, they are placed into other places of work. And that has helped us create 1,500 jobs over the past 7 years.
And so the talent pool that you're drawing from, they're young people from the slum who come through Elevate?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the Elevate is our community. It's attached to the community, and it goes out in the community, recruits, sensitizes young people about the possibilities. And what we actually do, we do not impose our solutions to, okay, you come and learn graphic designing. But we have this thing that every young person has, a special calling, dream, and talent. So we desire to tap into that talent. And the more we do that, the more we see endless possibilities for them, because we spark their imaginations to do amazing things. And that's why you've seen young people who are doing amazing stuff here at Era 92. Yeah. Yes.
So tell me more about your customers then. I mean, I am a customer because you have designed my websites beautifully and designed my logo. You really refreshed my online presence. Thank you. But you've many customers all over the world.
Yeah. There is this one thing that we have. The purpose beyond Era 92 Creative is the new Africa. We believe that right now people say Africa is the next big thing, but it cannot be the next big thing if Africa is still looked down onto as a charity place. But rather, we envision Africa whereby we are delivering our services on a global scale. So my desire was, okay, can we actually get our young people to deliver services to a global scale? That will be a story of empowerment, and we've been able to achieve it. So our clients are companies around the globe. We have clients in Kenya, we have clients in the UK, we have clients in the US, we have clients in Uganda, and so it's distributed because right now, COVID has actually opened up the globe. So there's as many opportunities, we believe, for many young people to tap into. So yeah, that's it.
And this New Africa vision is very different from a kind of old-fashioned charity towards poor people in Africa that's been dominant in the West for many years, isn't it?
Yeah. My point on that is that there is talent here. We have the youngest population, but the only challenge with that population is that the opportunities that are coming to Africa are not trickling down to benefit this young population because it is not empowered, they do not have enough skills and opportunities. But we believe for Africa to become this global powerhouse, all those elements have to be empowered. The population has to be empowered. We have to be looked at different as people with talent. And it should be easy for you to send your work to Africa because we can do amazing work.
Yeah. So, and I know from personal experience that it's good quality work, and good price for the websites, and also good responsiveness for if there are issues. Which is all three of those are big challenges in any web service. So if someone's interested in the services, how do they contact you?
Definitely, you should just go on www.era92.com, and then you'll see the different packages we are offering. And you can reach out on our social medias, Era 92 Creative, everywhere. You could find other social enterprises, but the one specifically delivering digital services is called Era 92 Creative.
Yeah.
And so, that's it.
And it's not just a one-off web design or design process. You actually can invest as a retainer, so that basically Era 92 Creative are your provider for all your digital work. Is that true?
Yeah. So we've learned that every company right now is becoming a media house. That's the problem we are trying to solve for them, because for them to hire individually, like especially startups, for you to hire out a graphic designer full time, a film, an editor full time, a social media manager full time, your budget would be at least 250,000. But then we cut down short to a flat rate, so that you pay a flat rate per month, and then you design the services that you want to receive from Era 92 on a monthly basis. So you could say, I want 10 posters a month, I want 2 videos a month, I want 5 posts on my social media, and our expertise team here, they deliver those things as though they are your team. So we integrate with your company and we help you deliver the service.
Yeah. Well, it's been really good to kind of explore the detail of the model and how it works. But maybe I think it would be good to finish by asking you, I think the question, which I think is what's most important to you, is what is the impact of this work? What's been the impact of Era 92 Creative?
Well, I wish I could bring like 10 other young people on my show, because the impact has surpassed me as a human being, and it has gone on to the community and also to Uganda itself. So we've worked with over 1,500 young people, and right now we are employing 22 of them at Era 92. we have placed at least 1,400 young people into other places of work, and this is through our employment partners. These are employment platforms that are providing jobs to other people. So the impact has been, if I should paint a picture, the impact has been this young person in the slums who would not ever own a smartphone, who would never go to school, who would never buy themselves a shoe, but who would end up into a place of prostitution, drug, theft, and jail or prison, to them becoming the caretakers of their families, to them becoming global citizens, to them becoming responsible people into their community, but more so to become mentors. Most of our young people like Megan are continuing to impact other young children. So they become change makers. So for me, that's the picture that I want to continue seeing. I don't want to see the continuous picture of poverty into our community, because the human capital we have of young people, the opportunities that are available, but they're just distributed in the way that they can't reach these young people. I think Africa is set to become the global powerhouse we want it to be. We just have to tap into this untapped potential. And as Era 92 right now, our vision is to create 10,000 jobs. And that's a big, hairy goal, but we are super excited through our employment partners, through the Elevate program and other social enterprises that we have at the fund. We believe that we'll be able to achieve this big, hairy goal. And it's a call for other people who want to do impactful work in Africa. I believe the next phase of impact from Era 92 should be inspiring other people to kind of think about the work you're doing differently. Because I believe we should think about things that are going to give people self-reliance, dignity, and be able to unlock their potential.
Amazing. Well, I'm certain that you're going to reach that goal. You've reached every other goal, so I have no doubt it's going to happen. Thanks very much for telling me more about it today, Trinity. And when I hear this story, I think about it all began with one boy with one laptop and a vision, and now he's talking about 10,000 young people from the slums being employed in this field. It's an inspiring story, and there's something at the heart of it which I think is really important. It's about changing the relationship between people in the West and people in Africa, away from that old charity model into partnership and business and creativity. I think it's not just the new Africa, it's the new world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I've just had a really interesting conversation with Trinity about how he founded the social enterprise, and at the heart of the project is Era 92 Elevate, which trains up young people. And you may recall in yesterday's vlog, I visited the Social Innovation Challenge that the young people have been working on over the past few days. So Trinity and I are going to go down now, and we're going to see the projects that the young people have come up with as part of the Social Innovation Challenge. So really looking forward to it. Okay, Trinity, all set?
Let's go do it.
This one? Okay. Yeah. So this is random just in terms of the order they come up in? Okay.
Today's judges, we have Trinity and Tony. Thank you for coming. They are going to be judging to see which idea is worth growing into a business. You know the things we have been training here, so this is a time to put them to work. Be confident. This could be the next step to your next changing game in your life, okay?
We have a problem of poor disposal of agricultural waste from the markets and also domestic food accumulation. And we came up with an idea of collecting that waste and bringing it back to life. Our business proposition is we are going to make fertilizers, we are going to make animal feeds, we are also going to breed earthworms as well as keep our environment clean.
Yeah.
Is it a scalable model? Like, how can you reach 1,000 people doing this? How can you reach
Through
millions
online.
of?
So how we are doing this is giving people food on credit. We give you food, you eat now, you pay later. Because eating is something that everyone needs.
So Dream Chasers, I thought you were strongest on being customer driven in terms of your target customer and the challenge that you are solving. So I scored you high on that one. So what have you learned over the past few days during this process?
What I have learned that youth have creative ideas.
Yeah.
For me, I've never discovered that blood donning can become a business anything, anywhere. But I have discovered that.
Like I've been exposed to what I've really not been knowing, and it's more of teamwork for me. So I'm looking up for building this, like heading on with my team, more like growing, putting this idea into work. It's
Yes.
really a good idea, and it's really sustainable.
It's a very interesting experience for me to be a judge of those ideas that were coming forward. I needed some advice from Trinity and Roger, to really understand what the projects were about. But I could tell that they were well thought through. They were good ideas. The young people have brought a lot of creativity to it, and it was amazing to see each of the projects was also not only a good business, but was also addressing a social need. So I've been reflecting on day 2 here at Era 92, and one thing that comes to mind is my conversation with Trinity earlier today, where it was clear that one laptop made all the difference to him, and all of this has been created out of that opportunity that Trinity was given. And then later this afternoon, when I went to the Social Innovation Challenge, and we had a brilliant time hearing all the ideas and the pitches, and Trinity and I, judged the competition. What struck me about that was, amongst those young people today, I'm sure there are other young people like Trinity, and maybe just one workshop or one opportunity, one idea will make all the difference for them as well. And I suppose that's the power of this model, of how what Trinity's doing is being really a role model for other young people from the slum. And I think there's unlimited potential of what other young people from this community might do after being inspired by him. And I have to say, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to see all the culture and history and music of Uganda. So I think I'm going to have a tour around the city. We're going to a concert. I think it'll give me a chance to just really enjoy being here. And of course, the social enterprise, the work that goes on here is absolutely wonderful. But there's more to Uganda than dealing with social problems. It's called the Pearl of Africa, and I want to enjoy just being here as a visitor as well. So that's all from me for today. I'm going to have a good rest so that I have all the energy I need for being a visitor and a tourist tomorrow.